It's a session with Ior Bock on the 29th of July 1998 in the Camelot House.
Create honest, and honest create true. And this story is based on logic, honest and true. Today has been for me one exciting day, because in Finland, between two mountains, they are digging to open one temple called Lemminkäinen Temple. 1987, the temple had been closed 1,000 years, and it was the time to start to open it. I have been in Goa already many winters, and people was dancing there something called Goa trans singer dance. And my family had been living 50 years in one house, 1987. So I said that we have one house party, because house is 50 years old. And 24 people straight from Goa arrived to my parents' house, and we had one party on the terrace in front of the house. We was all dancing Goa trans singer dance. And in the same time, I told the story about Lemminkäinen and the temple. And it was time to open the Lemminkäinen Temple after 1,000 years had been closed. I was by myself in the town apartment when I get a telephone call that these foreigners who had been coming to the party had been starting with barrel and buckets to empty between the two mountains where is one Ättestupa. And Ättestupa is one big enormous stone who is standing between the two mountains in the klyfta between the mountains. And under this stone is the entrée to the grotto. And grotto means the cave. And when you go into the cave, there is 3 gong who lead up to the temple. 2 are for air condition, and 1 called corridor, who in the end has 1 door, and this door is from gold and lead into the small golden temple called Lemminkäinen Temple. They started 1987 to open it, and in 5 summers time, every summer I was all over to have a look at this man called Hakulinen, who was leading to take away grey mass between the mountains, who had been put in when they was closing the temple. After 5 summers of work, we made one break of 7 years. And that means 1998, this year, I get a telephone call from Mr. Hakulinen, who said that he had been supported from Norway, so he could continue in the mountain. The 23rd of this month, they pressed the button and they start to pump away the water between the mountain. And the 9th of this month was the first explosion inside in the mountain after 7 years of a break. And yesterday there was drilling for the 4th explosion, and today the 4th explosion has been or should be But today I get one telephone call from Finland here to this university that there is much grey mass in front still. This morning when I wake up, I was thinking I can tell you one story about Lemminkäinen temple, who already the golden door has been seen by the camera in Finland. With that small news I could not come with. But I was thinking that when we open this temple, I will tell the story about Lemminkäinen from before ice time. We started this history of this planet that we was like one egg floating around in the universe. And the yellow of the egg and the white of the egg is the dump, the fruit. And one day the yellow explode and out come, like we do it still in New Year in my family, that we make one ring on the wall and we put 10. We heat up future 10, so it's liquid in one 10 slab, and we throw it in water and you can get the New Year's luck. But now this luck we put in front of the ring and one candle between, so you can see the ring when all these come out in the shadow. So the ring is the egg, the yellow, who explodes out this who we every year can see in New Year luck when we do this ring on the wall and we take the shadow from the candle. Like that we start to explain how this planet was started with one big boom, one big explosion, who made it from the water came out what we call today Earth on the planet. We get also cloud, and we are the only on this universum who has cloud. There's nowhere else is existing cloud. Even when they say now that they've been finding water on the moon with any clouds around the moon, nobody has been seen, even though we can look quite far today. So this planet is the only one who has clouds. Now from these clouds come down water, and the sun stroller, the stroller of the sun is making that the water again is avdunsta, and it go up and become clouds, sometimes with one big noise called ukkonen, called thunderstorm, and the water come down again. And the water has always been constant on this planet, even when the planet has been having one large history. From this we started to get something called algae, and in the water and on the earth we get earth. We get örter, green örter, and the green örter has something called löv or blood. Löv means that it's so thin, the leaf, that the sun stroller can go through, and blood means that it's so thick, the leaf, so the sun stroller cannot go through. So the earth has a lot of earth with blood and with löv. And this löv and blood was very important for us to andas. We andas, that means we are breathing, we andas. And is and as is as. So we are andas, and when we andas, we get also the yellow stuff in our balls. So our sperm is actually coming from outside. It's come when we andas, and it go into our system, and we get that thing, so we could be one Lemminkäinen who could make children on the planet. After the green, we get one ali who come to be one all, and one all is something called eel in English, who can be on the planet, on the dry, or go back into the water. Now from all come, with one day this all by one uden thing become one groda, and groda means one frog. And frog is swimming in same way as you and me. From the frog come the frog come the frog. And one day one wouldn't think that from this frog become one apa, APA, asennaspole, asennaspole, APA, asennaspole, A. Apa, apina, what means one ape in English language. So now we was one ape, and ape is also swimming like you and me. And in the North Pole, where is the hole in the North Pole, there on one island called Odensö, there this apa find one goat, one get. And now this apa, he put in his pilli in the get's pillu, and out come embla, who come to the egg of the get, and from this egg started to grow, and it come out the twins, the Freya and Freya, the first human being on the planet, Sampo and Ior. One boy and one girl. When the boy gets 7 years, he gets sperma, because he andas. So from outside he get in the sperma what this Frey could make his sister pregnant with. And the sister gets 12 sons and 7 daughters. And the sister become the first swan, and the Frey become the first lemminkäinen. The first Bock, swan, lemminkäinen, jones. The first son, who became 27, represented the moon, and the first daughter, who became 27, represented the moon, with the 12th boy, who became 27, representing the sun, and he was lemminkäinen, the Bock, the breeder. So now he gets one new swan from the most beautiful and most healthy of all of the ladies, and he make her pregnant. And she in turn gets 7 daughters and 12 boys, the first son representing the moon, the first daughter representing the moon, and the 12th son again representing the sun, and he becomes the new lemminkäinen. From there in the North Pole, in the Ringland Udenmaa, they divide to be one new woman called Disa. And Disa become the stam mother in the system. So now lemminkäinen not only making children with his swan, 12 sons, 7 daughters, he is also making children with the Disa. And Disa could get boy or girl. If the boy become one strong, he could be one breeder in the future, and in that way he become one Rabi. Rabi is the man who is the son of one Disa, who become one breeder, one lemminkäinen with one breeder called Rabi. If this woman, Disa, getting one daughter who was beauty and healthy, she could be one new Disa. But if she was not qualified to be one beauty and healthy, she could be something called Sienare. And Sienare is the sister of the Rabi, and the Sienare get also one ringland, like the Rabi also get. So the daughter could be either new Disa or Sienare, or he could be one new Rabi or one Narr. So if he didn't become father, he became one Narr. That sounds today to be one Narr if you don't become one father. But these days we had been many become Narrs. We could not all be father. Every ringland has one Rabi. And the ringland is divided in Jarl ett, Kar ett, and Tre ett. That means that the Rabi, he is making the Jarl woman pregnant and come out one Jarl boy or one Jarl girl. The Jarl man is making the Kar ett, the Kar woman pregnant and coming out one Kar boy or one Kar girl. And the Kar is making the Tren ett girls pregnant and coming out Tren ett girls, Tren ett boys. With the Tren ett boys had no right to be father at all. The lowest caste of people could not reproduce themselves. That means that varje träl could say my father is Kar, every Kar could say my father is Jarl, and every Jarl could say my father is one Rabi, and every Rabi could say my father is Lemminkäinen. But when it comes a new Lemminkäinen, the old Lemminkäinen become Gubbe or Ukko, Ukko or Gubbe, and in the same time the swan become one Gumma, one Akka Gumma. When it comes a new Lemminkäinen, it comes also one new swan, who gets 12 sons and 7 daughters. And that we call pirouette, Roos ett, Jarl ett, Karl ett, Tre ett. Pirouette, Roos ett, Jarl ett, Karl ett are the first people on this planet in the Paradis time, according to the mythology based on sound, history and saga. Paradis ett had in the top of the planet the ringland Odenma, and there on the Odensö was one place called Valhalla. And here we can also come into this place and we can see Valhalla, A with A in the end. And it made me to think that now the life was pirouette, Roos ett, Jarl ett, Karl ett, Tre ett, where we had one father, the allfather Gubben, and he in turn is called Ukko, and Ukko Lemminkäinen, and Seppo Ilmarinen is the king, Maija Ilmatar is the queen, Pukki Lemminkäinen is the breeder, Lemminkäinen, and the swan, and Ukko and Akka. So in one language we have Ukko, Akka, Pukki Lemminkäinen and Joutsen, Seppo Ilmarinen and Maija, and Sampo Aino. Sampo Aino is same like Freya, means the people of the planet, Freya in root, within one Sampo and Aino. The trail woman, before she gets pregnant, she had to drink 30 days from the man's sperm, the Kar who was the breeder, and after that the breeder put in the sperm and she became pregnant. Also the Kar woman, she was also drinking from the Jarl man 30 days, the sperm, before the man put in the sperm and she gets pregnant. And also the Jarl woman was drinking 30 days from this Rabi before he put in the sperm. But now Lemminkäinen, he is of course making his swan pregnant and giving her 30 days before he put in the sperm. But the Disa, who was stammother to all these Rabis, who had been getting so much children, their Lemminkäinen could not stand up and give all of them 30 days to drink. In that way they should have been drinking him completely empty. So now Lemminkäinen has one stand-in, one other man. And that's always one Rabi from all of these ringlands who get the honor to come into Odenma, to come into one place called Gumbo. And Bo of Gumma means the Akka's Bo, the mother Akka, the mother Gumma, her Bo. And it looks like a moon landscape. If you see it, it's bedrock. It's one ose of stone, of bedrock. So when the wind it goes through, and the whole inside of that is pure bedrock. And if there is no tree, it looks like a moon landscape with only grass and flowers. And there in this Gumbu, there are these Disa girls waiting for the man who will give her 30 days to drink, so she can remove herself to one Bocklandet outside of hell, where is one island next to that called Freyja, where this Bock Lemminkäinen has one tower. And he can always look over to the other side where all these ladies are who already have been drinking 30 days, and they're only waiting there for this breeder to come to put in the sperm. But before this Disa has been in Gumbu, where she's been drinking from one Rabi, who has been inside in the Lemminkäinen temple together with Lemminkäinen, and they have been exchanging sperm, Lemminkäinen and the Rabi, and in this procedure, the Rabi could give 30-day drinking for the Disa before she was transported to Bocklandet, where she was waiting for to come in turn to get the child with Lemminkäinen in his tower. That means that the small temple we are now opening is inside in one bedrock, and it has one gold cupola, and it's made from metal, and it has one divan. That's the only thing we know, and one corridor who go down to one grotto, one cave, and between the mountain this Rabi could come out and go down in the dal, and in the dal was all this Disa waiting for to get that man who will give 30 days before she was transported to Bocklandet outside of hell, next to the island Freyja, where Lemminkäinen has his tower, where he put in the sperm. This Lemminkäinen temple was created already in the beginning of our humanity, of our human being. It's one nature thing, because the two mountains has always been there since this happening, what we talk about this Nyårslykka, where this mountain come. Between these two mountains has been one big stone. If it's put there, is one question still today, but also nature can have been placing that big enormous stone between the mountains. You go down in one grotto, in one cave, and there he find one gong of bedrock. And when he walk up there, he come to one door, and when he opened this door, inside was Lemminkäinen, and in the divan there was exchanging sperm, so the Rabi could walk out from the door, down through the gong, down into the grotto, and from grotto up between the mountains, and going down to the dal, the Gumbu Dalen, where all the Disa was waiting for to get just he, her man, her Rabi, to be the man who give her to drink 30 days. Before she was transported to Bocklandet outside of hell, next to Freyja, where Lemminkäinen has one tower, where he was choosing as many of these Disa he could make pregnant. He must have been making many, because all the Rabi who born from Lemminkäinen's sperm had to get one ringland. If you see the ball as the ball by itself, we can see the ball as a football. And football is made in hexagram, means that it's like not really rings. It's made so the football fit in together. And like that is a ball where we live on this planet also was fit together in ringlands, who actually was not rings. They was hexagram ringlands who fit together. 250 kilometers in diameter. So this Germany, very good mathematicians, they're always wondering how many ringlands there could be, because today we know how big these balls are. They must have been knowing also before Einstein. Because they could divide this planet in ringlands, who has the top Udelma, with 6 ringlands inside, and more, and covering the whole ball. Of course, where the water is, could not be any land. But anyway, the water was divided in ringlands, but there could not be one Rabi. So that means that we have been quite, the population of the planet has been quite equally populated all over, even mountain area in the paradise time. If you think how many there are of course many. Now every rabbi was one son of one Disa who had been made pregnant by Lemminkäinen. So as Allfather Lemminkäinen Ukko, in the end, he could really look for his people all over the ball, divided in these thousands of ringlands. And Ukko by himself, as Lemminkäinen, had been making the Disa pregnant, and the Disa's son had been one rabbi in one ringland, and the rabbi was making the Jarl woman pregnant, the Kar woman was making pregnant by the Jarl, and the Träl Kar, so it became pirouette, rouge et, Jarl et, Kar et, Träl et, the whole system with Lemminkäinen and his temple. Now Lemminkäinen's sound is C. When the king is C, A, B, C, or the sound C. C is not one clear sound in the alphabet. With C we have like C in English, A, B, C, and A, B, C. When we have A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, X, Y, Z, O, Ö, the alphabet. So now A, B, C, the C sound is go on Lemminkäinen, and the C sound go on Seppo Ilmarinen, the king. So the king has one C sound, and the breeder has one C sound. Still today the hill where the temple are called Sibuberget, Sibu hill, and we have Sibu river, and we have Sibbo Sparbank in Sibbo. So you can see Sibu is from this mountain, the whole area has been getting the name. Down to Sibuberget we have Gumboberget, and Gumma is from Gubbe, Gumma, och Svarersmaj, Freja. So we have the side Gumma. What exists still today is called Gumbo Strand. The place has one strand, one beach, and from the beach go up one dal called Gumbodalen, and from Gumbodalen you go up to Gumboberget, and on the other side of Gumboberget is Sibuberget, and Sibuberget has inside Lemminkäinen temple. In that way we can actually take different sound and take the sound C, and everybody who come to visit 1987, they could also know that they are now in Sibu because the sign tells them that this is called Sibu, and the address is Gumbo Strand, and the strand was one beach, and from the beach you come up to the dal with a kulle called Blåkulla. And Blåkulla means this, the blue kulle. And Blåkulla is one story that when Gubbe, he is anyway the Allfather, he has his gumma called Akka. And Akka, we have something called Almenakka, what means Almenakka, who was taking care about the days of the year. And Almenakka is going according to the sun. The calendar is according to the moon. And we have something called pää, and the pää is the head, and we have pääsiäinen instead of the head, and that's this Akka. And now she's staying in pääsiäinen when Maija and her 6 tar, means the queen and her 6 sisters, is coming with brooms to Blåkulla. One skaft with kvistar, all made, so it becomes one broom from Paju kvist, it's called Paju the kvist, and Vide kvist, it's called in root, and from this Vide kvist they make one broom, and now all these daughters, the Maija by herself, the queen, and her 6 sisters, they call tar, and they make tarinoita, and they come to Blåkulla always in this pääsiäinen, what is the same like we celebrate Easter still today. So it's one hill, and now they come every year in the spring, they come there, and they take the leaves from the tree just when new leaves has been coming. These leaves who the sunstrålar has gone through, and the mahla, the sav inside in this leaf, and now they make fire, and with fire they get the water to boil, and in the boiling water they put these leaves whose sunstrålar has gone through, and now the sav from this leaf is going into the water, and after they drink it, these ladies are making stories. They are making stories about their father, Wienermöinen, and Wienermöinen father is just their father. So it was actually women who make the story about their father, Wienermöinen, for the Rasti. But now again, men was presenting the story. In all presentation, if you go to Greek, everywhere, men had to play the woman role, because only men could play for this kind of enormous auditorium without microphones. But it was the women who had been creating the story, what the men had to present for the public in these days. And this program was made in Akan Pesä by Akka and her 6 or 7 daughters, the Maya, the queen, who representing moon, and the 6 Tar, who are Hexor. And they have come with brooms in the Easter for to make with their pans, where they cooking of water, putting the leaves in the pan and drinking this thing, for to get something to speak, some thinking, who in the end become stories about their father, the Wienermöinen, who become presented in the Rasti, in the paradise time. Seppo Maija, the king and the queen representing moon, and Ukko Akka, Gubbe Gumma, are the A in the alphabet. The A is always Gubbe Gumma or Ukko Akka. And Aser, A-Aser, A-Aser, I Aserasborg, Skära, Di, Ekens fredsgrund, Hell, I Jarlarnas, Karlarnas lag, månen, Nordstjärnan, Orden, Polen, Kvadraten, Ras, Sol, Tor, Ursprungsvärden, I. Is this combination who come out from this A-Aser, B, Borg, C, Skära, D, Dag, E, Ek, F, Frö, G, grund, H, Hell, I, Jarlar, K, Karlan, L, lag, N, måne, N, Nordstjärnan, Orden, P, Polen, Q, kvadrat, R, Ra, S, solen, T, Tor, U, ursprung, V, vanen, X, Y, Z, X means one cross, one X change, one cross. Y is Yggdrasil, the all living tree, one female tree, Yggdrasil. What is the ash tree in the mythology? The ash tree. The tree had in the paradise time, as I started, löv or blood, and when we died, we decided to die ourselves when we could not walk anymore. Some sickness we had not heard about in paradise time. That when we could not walk anymore, we informed the surrounding that our time was over. And in that way we went up on one ättestupa, and we stooped down, and we died. If you didn't die, they had even one ätteklubba called, when you could, but maybe not used so often, but exist anyway, one ätteklubba. After that they are burning the body, and the body becomes ash. And the ash is the most dry what exists, because it's dried by fire. And fire dried, now also Ukkonen, the thunder has been giving us the fire in the beginning, in paradise time. We get it from the thunder, from the nature, and it comes on fire. And from there we could make our tea from that fire. So now when we die, we used also the same fire to burn our body to be ash. And now the ash was transported under one tree. And when the ash come in contact with the water of the earth, the ash root is taking our fylgia from the ash, and the fylgia go from the root to the stem, to the gren, to the kvist, to the löv. That means from the root to the stem, to the branch, to the löv, to the leaf of the tree. And now the fylgia is inside in the leaf, in the sab inside in the leaf. And now the solen, the sunstrålar, come through this löv. So now this liquid inside in the löv is come out in form of damp, and the centrifugal kraft, the centrifugal power is bringing this fylgia to the hole in the North Pole, where Lemminkäinen is making his swan pregnant. So Lemminkäinen has to be inside in this ringland always, because he undoes in and he gets it in his ball. So now he makes this pirouette, ruset, jarlet, garlet, trälet. Then when träl is diving, he become ash or she. She go under the tree in form of ash and fylgia. The water fruct make that she come out from the dry ash and go into the root, the stem, the branch, the löv. And now it's inside in the leaf in form of fruct, of wetness. And when the strålar go through the löv, it come out in form of steam. And the steam go into the atmosphere, to the universe, and it go one sent, fog, all kraft, who take this fylgia to Valhalla. And Valhalla is one group, one hole in the North Pole, the middle of the point. Already when this planet was created, it has one turn, because under Valhalla is one cone-formed space. So exact point, Valhalla, under this hill where is Valhalla, is one cone-formed space inside in the earth, who has been created in the creation of the spinning of this planet, of the centrifugal power, when this first explosion was, when I talk about this ring on the wall with this New Year light. So we born in pirouette, ruset, jarlet, garlet, trälet, and we die in all of this that we go under the root, the stem, the branch, the leaf. We leave the leaf in form of fylgia, what the centrifugal kraft is taking us to the hole in the North Pole called Valhalla. Val means election, Hall is the hall, the place, and A is A. A is Ukko, Akka, and Aasar. Now Lemminkäinen is Aasar, because all the children who born from the swan or from the Disa are called Aasar. The people who live outside of Uudenmaa called Vanar, the Van people and the Aas people, and the root language is the Aas language, and the second language is the Van language, what is 1/10 language. That means in the Van we have to count 10 before we go over to a new sound. Like in English, it's 12 systems, Aas language, like we have Sweden, Norway, England, Germany, they are all based on Aas 12 system, because you count to 12 and you continue with 13, 14, 15. With example, in Van language, in Finnish, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and from 10 and 10 we continue with 11, 12, 13. So the whole planet was divided into two languages, the Aas language and the Van language, in pirouette, ruset, jarlet, garlet, and trälet. To not make it more larger, of course, many things was going further on. After the paradise time, we get one other time called Outlandis time, and Outlandis time is again one whole story by itself, based, of course, on the pirouette, ruset, jarlet, garlet, trälet, and this what we call paradis et. time. In paradise time we was not eating any meat, we was not eating actually more than seed and fruit, and we could live as parasite on each other. We was not living in the tree. Even when we get the fruit from the tree, we had no agriculture, we had no growing, so we had very little to do. But we was not in the tree because we used the fire. We people are the only on this planet who use fire. The bird has no fire at all, and the animals can't make fire, and they can't keep fire, and they can't burn fire. So fire we need to make this that we could take out from the leaf in form of sap and make something called tea still today. So the fire made that we could live on the tree's leaf and having our tea, and we could also live on fruit, and we could also have our meal in the meal eat that in form of we was parasite of each other. We could open our wings and we could eat from each other. The female and the men could show his tomte and they could eat from each other. That sounds today very cannibalistic. Kan I bal, bal means every man has one bal, and kan I is the prick. So kan I bal means that we were eating each other or from each other in the paradise time. That Uresh is then making this big poster what he come in with, where he say so big understanding for me to read that it was Monday in July where he made this kind of understanding that if something happens, one wooden thing, that the nature has to come together. Nobody can save this planet today. There is not one human being who can come and save it. I think it's the only thing is what we call väderleken, what means the climate, that we are building our house to keep the bad outside, means the cold. We have clothes on us to keep the bad outside, the cold. So if we get one pleasant climate on this planet, I think we people can change according to the nature and have some new period in this history of this planet. We can maybe reach back if we get the weather in something what this sound system is telling. When you go through this sound, everything is based on the paradise time. So as more you go through it with friends, you take one word, you cut it in pieces, you look the Ars association, and you are really honest, you are logic, honest and true, when you really must have, all five people must have the same association and still believe it open, of course. If you go through many, many words in many, many languages and you keep this A's and B boy, this main sound, you can pick up all these parts, but when you come to this thing, they all go to your part of the female or masculine different part, because that's the only name. Every woman have ears, head, everything except this. It's not anymore. Yeah, barm and bringa. The woman has barm and the man has bringa. Otherwise we aren't us with same breast. We have breast, we aren't us with breast corey, and us. But we men have bringa, one hairy bringa,